We are not alone. The Pentagon released the UFO files a few weeks back, and we just found out over 1 billion people have visited the site. 1 billion.
We don't even have a sub that'll probably do 40 miles an hour under the... and the last thing he said before he left my office was, and he looked at me, he pulled me up close, he said, "Tim, they're real."
Okay, now you guys releasing this footage. Are you trying to trick us? Are you guys covering something? Is this real footage? Can we verify this? Is this legitimate? Or is this some PSYOP thing that they're doing because they're getting ready to do something over here? Have you ever Googled your own name? Do it sometime. You'll be shocked how much of your private information is out there, your address, phone number, even your family details. And here's the crazy part. Data brokers and random websites are selling your information without your consent. That's where Incogni comes in. Incogni tracks down and removes your personal data from hundreds of data broker sites. These sites collect, sell, and repost your information for profit. And now with Incogni's custom data removal, you can maximize your online privacy. That means if you find your personal information on any site, you could just send Incogni the link and their privacy experts will handle the rest. It's that simple. Remember, a VPN protects your data going out, but Incogni removes what's already out there. And this isn't some shady privacy gimmick. Incogni's custom data removal process was verified by Deloitte, proving that they actually get results. So take your personal data back with Incogni. Use code Tatum and get 60% off an annual plan at incogni.com/Tatum. That's incogni.com/Tatum. Protect your privacy today. So let's get on to some of the TMZ interviews. Roll the clip.
Of our government has told you and others, I guess, that there is a form of alien life and machinery which maybe brought this living creature here that interacted in some form with people?
Yeah, they have, and they've. It's pretty wild. I know, but I'm just telling you, I'm not going to lie to you. I'd take a lie to tell you. You want to put me on a polygraph, I'll take it. But this is what the guy told me. I mean, I've had a very high-ranking naval official describe. I've talked about this before. Underwater craft, something big as a football field, moving at over 200 miles an hour. And there's no fish in the ocean that would do that. We don't even have a sub that'll probably do 40 miles an hour under the. And the last thing he said before he left my office was, it was kind of weird because he didn't go out he went out the side door, which nobody ever uses. And he looked at me, he pulled me up close, he said, "Tim, they're real." And that's the last thing he said to me. That'll be the title of my book, I guess. Matt Gaetz was involved in something here just recently. He was interviewed and he talked about this interbreeding thing with.
We saw that. We saw that.
Well, that's a true story. That was military personnel. I think that would be a good story to talk to him about if you all can do that.
Right. He says he learned that from someone in the military.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a guy, it was an officer in uniform. Yeah. And Matt and I and Representative Luna, we all went down to Florida, and we were turned away. And then Matt made a phone call to somebody at the Pentagon, and all of a sudden they opened the doors and brought the pilots in that were supposed to tell us the story in the first place. And he can probably elaborate a little bit more on that. But that was pretty fantastic. That was a made-for-TV special right there in itself.
So let me talk about the other. When I said initially it was multifaceted, you have the spiritual side of it, where I want Christians to not get all crazy and feel like they got to lose their faith and get confused. If somehow we find out that there's some stuff going on out there that have been communicating with people and all of that stuff, just be mindful that there may be things that we didn't understand. Put that in the context of Scripture. But then you have this other aspect where you wonder, is the government playing games with us? Because it's very suspicious how all of this stuff is coming out at once. What is it that they're trying to do by releasing this stuff right now? And I'm not saying that it is or isn't. I'm just saying that you got to keep your mind open to the possibility that it could be something afoot. Don't just be hook, line, and sinker and believe in everything you see. Because I'm concerned that the release of this footage and some of this random footage without context, it's not anybody releasing footage and then sitting down and doing a Q&A with the public. So we can ask questions. It's footage being released, and then people are now using footage and AI and doing all kind of stuff. And now it is a confusing mess. You don't know what's real and what's not real. You don't know if somebody's used AI. You don't know if it's somebody that really observed the aircraft outside of an airplane, or they've used, AI technology to present something, because it is viral. Like if I went and you didn't know who I was and I was working with another person to try to make them famous on YouTube, I would have them go down the conspiratory hole of aliens. And they can say whatever they want to say because people's minds are just now primed to believe anything at this point. So it's very concerning to me that the government could be lying to us, and all of this AI stuff could be perpetuating the issue. Now, if the government isn't lying to us, the question is, what is it that the government is holding back from us? And can people deal with it or not? Some people want the government to just release everything, right? And let the people decide. I would love to believe that to be true. I think it's always good to be transparent and for the government to let the people know what's going on, because we pay them, right? They can't hold secrets from us. But I'm also concerned that humans, most of them, brains doesn't work right, meaning that they're easily manipulated and they're easily feared or scared into certain things. Meaning that if they release some information that aliens are living amongst us and have certain demands, let's just say aliens are saying by 2 years from now, you better do this or we're going to destroy the planet. If that was even floated as an idea or even lied to the public as an idea with some type of reference point, the world would go crazy. When COVID happened, you saw everybody buying toilet paper. There's no toilet paper, and there's no reason to go in a store and deplete the store of toilet paper. It's asinine. People go and use up all the water supply and all this other stuff because they're afraid of something that may not be true. And that's why I think the government is very apprehensive to release some things, because the average person cannot handle the truth. People like you and I can, but we're only less than 1% of the population. So let's get to a couple other videos, because I want you guys to kind of see what's going on here. Roll the clip.
A trove of images showing decades of unidentified objects is sparking curiosity.
500 million people in 14 hours looked at those government releases on the website.
We've seen videos have been verified, et cetera, et cetera. What we need is, okay, let's open the holding tanks where the craft are, or the biologics.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to.
We've been working on this because it's been a national security issue, but it is real. I mean, I don't know what it takes. That formal admission of the facts, the formal admission of the unknowns, people need some sort of defining of these terms. We need to know what we're talking about. Congress is asking for 46 videos that they know exist. If we can just get that out to the American public, that will start the process.
How does it feel to be part of the community that is maybe feels a little bit less fringe now?
All I care about is that the truth gets put forward to the public and not like further deception. Tell the truth. Let's move on. The American public can handle it.
Now I'm gonna get to the next few topics because we're running out of time. But this is one thing that I want you guys to pay attention to. Everyone should have a healthy skepticism of the government. Now, I want you to pay attention to how people react to this alien thing. People, unfortunately, and maybe subconsciously, are biased. And so if the government is doing things you don't like, you don't trust them, and everything that they do is suspect. But if it's something that you want to be true, somehow we believe the government. What I'm telling you guys is to keep your mind open for any possibility. Because now that they're releasing this UFO stuff, somehow people believe that the government is somehow releasing factual stuff. How do we not know the government is not releasing fraudulent video footage? But some people don't want it now because they want aliens to be real. So they believe everything the government is doing, and they believe it, and they're going to take a hook, line, and sinker. I would argue, just like the moon landing and all the other stuff that people have questions about. Okay, now you guys releasing this footage. Are you trying to trick us? Are you guys covering something? Is this real footage? Can we verify this? Is this legitimate? Or is this some psyop thing that they're doing because they're getting ready to do something over here and distracting us? I'm not saying that it's happening. Just keep your mind open. And yeah, I want you guys to hear me out on this, because this is far bigger and more important than about anything else that I have said up to this point. There are multifaceted approaches to understanding this alien thing. And I want to address each one. First and foremost, let's establish this as Christians and believers. And this is my statement to you. Don't get mad. Don't just listen to me and take it in, accept it or not. I really do believe that the discovery of extraterrestrial beings, aliens, if you want to call them, these UFOs, is not a front to the Christian faith. If anything, it is that we are not perceiving God correctly or the things of the Bible correctly. It's not that this is counterproductive to the word of God. There's nothing that exists that is outside of God's understanding. And I honestly believe there's nothing that exists that's outside of God's articulation to mankind about its existence. The difference is that you cannot find yourself being so sold on an idea that you're not open-minded, which means if somehow we find out that there's creatures and stuff that's on this planet, and we find out that this was created by this and this and that, you don't lose faith in God. You understand your interpretation of what God was trying to tell you from the first place. Because I see that people are going to be, I think people are resistant. They go, well, there's no such thing as aliens because aliens aren't in the Bible. Are they? You know, this can't be true because God, you have your mind fixed on this is what God is. And then when there's other new things that come about, you want to either pick one or the other instead of interpreting God in the perspective of God may have been telling us about this. The way we see God may not be a guy with a beard sitting in heaven on a throne, literally. And I know people are not going to want to hear this. I'll do it in the post show where I explain a little more in detail, because I honestly believe the Bible is true. I believe that Jesus Christ told us the truth, all of the above. But I also believe that man has tried to create God in his image instead of us understanding what God is. Because there are so many things that have gone on. When you understand how vast the universes are and all of that stuff, you have to then reconfigure how you are perceiving what God is and who God is. I don't believe God is a man sitting on a throne with 2 eyes, 2 ears, and a big toe. I think God is a lot more vast and not understandable than what we are trying to perceive. God is everything. Energy, feeling, I mean, you name it, that's God. And somehow God finds a way to communicate with human beings. And in that communication, we try to perceive who God is. Now, let me get on, because y'all going to get mad at me about this whole thing.